a bass does not know what color underwear, or if you're wearing underwear that's got dirt roads in them.
Or if you're wearing them at all.
Or if you're wearing them at all. A bass don't know.
Because we talked about doing this. I used to back in the day.
Oh, no.
Oh, here we go. Confession time.
Yeah.
Confession time. Look good? You need to trim my ear hairs. You know how long them things are? I just sat this close to you and looked at that in a minute. Sharon ain't trimmed them for you?
Are you ready yet?
I'm ready.
Hurry up.
Really?
Are you ready?
3, 2, 1, action.
3, 2, 1, action. Welcome back to After the Podcast. I'm a little bit disturbed if you can't see.
Yep.
I got 2 prima donna buddies. They had a little mic and they said, I always pulls my shirt down. They don't see my chest. So then Taylor had to go get them a wire.
Yeah.
So look at their shirt.
It looks better, don't it?
Looks better. Yeah.
I think it looks better.
Bothers me.
You look good down there, Ed.
I could have been in bed 5 minutes earlier if we didn't have to take care of these 2
Well, we're doing
prima
this a
donnas.
night early anyway, just for you.
Yeah.
Prima donna.
Well, that's not a prima donna. I gotta go home and take care of the cows.
Uh-huh. You had a fishing tournament.
Huh?
You had a fishing tournament.
Hold tight now. Every time I've been with y'all jokers, if you within 2 hours of the house, y'all going home too. So yeah, here we are after the podcast. I'm gonna say after the cast, after the podcast, and we got a good one tonight.
Yeah.
We got a really good one. Do bass or just fish? Do fish know what type of underwear you're wearing? I mean,
Superstitions. That's where he's going here.
Yeah,
Superstitions.
just so you know.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Superstitions.
Yeah, superstitions and bass fishing.
And what made us think of that is we had a really, really, really nice place at Lake Murray. It's called The Gathering at Lake Murray.
Yep.
Nice place.
Super nice place. The guy that owns it, Scott Campbell, he actually texted me just out of the blue. Hey, I know you're going to Murray. If you need a place to stay, you can stay here. And I really didn't even know him. I knew some friends of his, so I guess he got my number from Skip. I don't even know how he got my number. But everything was great, man. I mean, Evan was texting me, this place is awesome.
There'll be a link in the description.
There'll be a link in the description. But yeah, Evan was texting me this place. He came in a day early. Taylor, he's like living the high life. He's over here editing right next to us.
He said we were high rolling.
We're high rolling.
Yeah.
So super nice place. And I'm like, oh, Scott done hooked us up. Then I get here. And they gonna try to tell me if I put this hat on, I'm gonna catch. No, time out. We're gonna spend as much time as we can with it this way.
Okay.
I don't want anybody to look at this ugliness. So we need to keep it this way. So if I put this hat on, I'll catch more bass.
That's what they're saying. And he's got stories to prove it. I mean, he's
He was catching stripers every cast, and then he went to get his buddy off the dock, took him back out there. Can't get a bite. He was wearing a Clemson hat, it's the story.
Yeah.
He went back there, grabbed it, threw it in the water. Very next cast, they both caught one.
There you go.
This is the hat. You better look at it very briefly. This is all that's gonna go on.
Whoa, he actually
He
put it on.
That's it. I'm done with it.
Dang.
Yo, in my opinion, my humble opinion, that bass don't know how ugly I am with a Gamecock hat on. He don't. There's no way a bass knows what you're wearing. Y'all agree?
You think they know what you ate? Or what you're going to eat
Well,
in
the
the
only
boat?
time they know what I ate is when I take a dump over the side of the boat. Then they truly do. So that's really it's like, yeah.
I think they still don't know at that point. They probably still don't know.
I don't know if it's corn, it still stays intact. You can see
Let's
what-
change subject.
You act like you ain't never done it.
Well, I just don't like talking about it. They don't want to hear about it.
You never know. Somebody's laughing right now, hollering at their wife. Come listen to this idiot. But anyway, superstitions in bass fishing.
Yeah, no, it is.
What's your best superstition story?
I'm gonna grab the easy one. Actually, I'll take one of the easy ones. And Ed, I think I'll lay him up for the other one. One big one, especially in bass fishing, tournament fishermen, and even a lot of our competitors, they will make a dummy cast.
I was thinking
Yes.
the same thing.
Their first cast. I mean, with the full intention of
I didn't even
absolutely
think about that.
not catching a
Yeah.
bass.
Yeah.
I mean, that is like
The dumbest thing.
yeah. They absolutely, they have a goal. I am not trying to catch one on my first cast.
That's true.
Okay, personal examples of that. Is the Everstart Series, Lake Champlain, I don't know, 2007, 8, 9, somewhere in there. Take off at Lake Champlain, run over to one of them blow-throughs, pull up at one of them channel markers. My first cast of the jig, catch a 4-pounder. I had like
went in. You was done.
no, I
Your day was ruined.
I caught 20 pounds a day.
Oh.
You know what I did? I ended up bleeding.
So that bass didn't know you caught one on your first
He didn't
cast?
know.
I caught
First
one on the
cast.
first cast one time at Rayburn and had a great day.
I caught one in the last tournament.
This
at
was-
the first cast.
This was just startup. So that was just one time.
Yeah.
Sam Rayburn, when I won there, I caught one of my first casts every day.
I ain't never done that.
All three
That's
days of the tournament, I caught one of my first casts every day, all 3
Never
days.
been that
At the
talented.
Harris chain, I caught one of my first cast on the knockout and the championship day.
Wow.
So I've caught fish on my first
So
cast.
you-
in
I'd say that's
tournaments.
out the window.
Yeah.
I've debunked
You
that.
proved that's the debunk.
Yeah. What about you, Ed? What's your what have you heard?
Oh, the banana deal, like
Yeah.
Jeff Crete, man. I being from Oklahoma, I used to run around with him early in my career, and literally he would wear the same underwear 2 days in a row if he caught him. I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you. And
Yeah.
then the banana, he will get fighting,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
We-
fighting mad.
We
Andy's
seen you
seen
getting
that.
mad at
Yeah.
Takahiro with the World
Yeah.
Championship over.
Like he doesn't play with that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Where does that come from?
I have no idea.
I've heard that Johnny Morris is the same way about a banana in the boat.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, but no, the banana in the boat, that's not just a bass fishing. That is
Big
to my
boats,
knowledge,
yeah.
all fishing.
Yeah.
I mean, there are no bananas allowed.
I bet
in
somebody
the boat.
knows where the banana in the boat history is. I'll leave a
That's a
comment.
good
I want to. I'd like to learn.
Chris Wells is going to answer it because he always answers like the historian question. And then I find out all he does is Google it. So I guess he's just fast with Google.
Yeah.
Tell us about the underwear story from
Yeah.
like former angler of the year
Yeah,
on
so,
this lake.
Yeah, so Davey Hines from we're
Yep.
staying in Prosperity, which is where this house is here,
Yep.
the gathering here at Lake Murray. But Prosperity, South Carolina, I always think of Davey Hines being from here. And I remember hearing him tell the story of when he won Angler of the Year. I don't remember for sure what year that was, but on bass when he won Angler of the Year, that he had a lucky pair of underwear that he wore. I think the same pair, like every day of every tournament for the season, kind of thing. I mean, I don't want to mess up the story and get it wrong and say that,
Right.
what I said was the truth,
you
but it was
know-
something to that effect. You were probably in that classic where he gave his Angler of the Year speech,
Yeah.
but.
Because we talked about doing this. I used to back in the day.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, here we go. Confession
Yeah.
time.
Now-
Confession time.
Confessions.
If I caught him wearing a pair of shoes, like I wore that shoes. But if I didn't catch him, like I'd never wear them shoes fishing again.
You know what? I've never had that problem.
Me either.
Because I don't fish barefoot.
I knew a bass that I don't know what I'm wearing.
The one I want Andy to tell is your co-angler story, Kentucky Lake or Pickwick, wherever it was.
And I'll lead into something else with that. So I was at Pickwick, and I tell this story a lot when I speak. But so I had a co-angler, and we was fishing ledges. He had 4 fish, pretty much all day. He caught 4 early. All I heard was, I gotta catch another one. I gotta catch another one. I gotta get number 5. I gotta get number 5. Well, it was pretty slow, and they turned on the current that afternoon. And when you in them days. I mean, I hear you can't even catch them on the ledge no more like you used to. But in them days, when you got a school fired up, you had to get in there as fast as you could. And I got a school fired up, and I'm catching them, and he finally hooks one. He says, I got him, I got him, I got him. He's going ballistic. I got him, I got him, I got him. And yeah, so I go back there with the net, because he's netting mine all day. I'm going to be a good guy. I'm going to give myself a pat on the back, and I'm going to net his back. So I go back there with the net, and I see his line start doing this. I said, man, you got a catfish or a drum. No. I said, dude, you got a catfish or a drum. And the whole time, he's babying this thing, and I'm thinking, gosh, I got to get back up there and get back in there while I got
You
him fired
ain't
up.
even got spotlight.
No, I didn't think about that. I'm way down current now. Like, I need to get back on the spot. I need to get back in there where they're fired up. And he starts saying, please don't be a catfish. Please don't be a catfish. Please don't be a catfish. Please don't be. He says it over and over while he fights this thing for what seemed like 20 minutes. And I'm a pretty calm
And you
guy.
tell me I'm impatient.
That's what I'm getting to. I'm a pretty calm guy. But about the 15th time, he said, please don't be a catfish. And he's babying this thing. And I done seen it do around the
loopy
world.
loops.
Yeah, it's done flew around the world 20 times. I'm like, geez, but I don't want to be a wee head and throw the net down and go back to the front. And it comes up, and guess what? It's a big catfish. So I get back up there and I'm fishing. And he starts saying, I knew I shouldn't have said that. I knew I shouldn't have said that. I knew I shouldn't have said that. Finally, I had enough. I turned around and I said, hey, dude, that thing didn't change from a bass to a catfish after you said that. It was already a catfish. Thing got eerily quiet in that boat.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, what seemed like 10 minutes, probably a minute, he says, man, you got a point. So I spoke, so a good lead to that, or another good story that tied into that, was I spoke at the college national championship. The one, the Cabela's one that Wade runs. What is that one?
American.
Yeah. So it's the
Yeah.
biggest. Hey, college boy, you ought to be able to tell us that. But it was the college national championship at Clemson University, or is that Lake Hartwell, on the shores of Clemson University. I said that wrong. Clemson University
know what you
on the
meant.
shores of Lake Hartwell.
We
you
knew
go.
what you meant there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at that mess. That's right. I'm looking at that mess, and that's what's making me think. Like sideways. So I spoke and I told that story about not to, part of the deal was not to sweat the small stuff. And I told him, I said, hey boys, that fish don't know if you wore the same underwear all week. I promise you, your partner and your roommates will appreciate if you change your dang underwear. And this is no joke. I'm sitting there looking out at them at that green pond landing.
Somebody's elbow.
Oh, dude, I could pick out like 5 different people that turned to their buddies or a whole team like, told you, because I knew who wore the same underwear.
Oh yeah.
So they believe it.
That's
A lot
funny.
of superstition in fishing.
Yeah.
But
A
the
lot of
bass,
superstition.
it did not change from a bass to a catfish.
Nope.
And that right there ends all debate about superstition
Yeah.
and bass fishing.
Absolutely.
There is no such thing.
Absolutely. I think, so one that I know I enjoyed from last time, and I think the fans did too, the deep thoughts about a bass.
Go into that, because I ain't got no deep thought.
All right.
I'm looking up something while you're doing that.
You're good.
Okay.
So
I'm not TikTok. I'm actually
I
looking
can
up
tell
something.
you good.
Okay.
So my deep thought about a bass. This is a question I want to ask you all, and then I'll either let you prove me right or wrong, and then I'll give my opinion on it. And we've discussed this some, but I want to discuss it in depth, and I feel like people at home would like to hear about this. So, are Florida strain largemouth bass as negative, or are they more negatively affected by a cold front than a northern strain largemouth bass? Like literally the difference in the species. Are Florida strains, do they take a cold front harder than a northern strain?
I think absolutely. Yeah. I think they're hard to catch in Florida when it's cold.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do they take it? But so, I guess the real thought behind my question, is it the bass or is it its environment though? Because where you live, Edwin, when you get a cold front on Grand Lake, how much the water temperature drop?
It could be cold, like it iced over.
Well, but I mean, what I'm saying is, like,
Right.
if the water's 55 and you
Gotcha,
get
it's
a
only going to
major,
drop to 52.
what's it doing in Florida?
It goes -10.
Right, it drops 15 degrees.
Right.
I mean, when we fished the BPT at Okeechobee a few years ago, I remember during the tournament on the first day, during the 8 hours we were out there, the water temperature dropped 10 degrees.
Yes, I ain't never.
So, like, if you think about that in terms of like a snake, if you guys have ever seen a snake, like when it's really, really cold, like they can't even move. Like you could have the most poisonous snake in the world,
You can't do anything.
can't do nothing.
Yeah,
And that's probably the same thing with that bass. If it dropped that much, that quick,
that quick. That to
it
me
just
is,
can't- that makes sense.
that's my point and the
Yeah.
question. So people anywhere we
I
go,
like that deep.
they're always like, man, Florida strain. Like, no.
Yeah,
it's-
because you say that because we got Florida strain in Chickamauga, you got Florida strain in Oklahoma, but we still catch those fish throughout the winter. 'cause
Absolutely.
they've got acclimated to it.
So is there
So it doesn't drop as much.
right?
Yeah.
Right. And that I mean, I've said that for every people, like all these Florida strains, and I truly don't think so. the only thing I have to compare it to outside of Florida is at home. And what would you say is the fish that's least affected by a cold front? A largemouth or a smallmouth?
Smallmouth.
Okay. River behind my house. In the springtime, they won't be running much water. They're filling the lake up. The water will get warm. The warm still get all year will be in typically June until they start running water. That water will go from somewhere in the 70s, mid 70s. They start running water, it goes to like 52 within 24 hours. You know what you can't do?
Can't catch a fish.
You can't catch one. You'll go from catching 10 an hour to you're lucky to catch 10 all day.
Wow.
And that's a 20-degree drop and it's smallmouth.
Yeah.
So that, I mean,
It's all fish then. That's what you're saying.
all fish.
Yeah, I
it's
see
all
that.
fish.
So I learned something. That's the reason I ain't said nothing, because I've been scared to death. So I was wrong. Because I always compared a Florida bass to a married woman.
I still think that's probably a pretty good analogy there. There's some
I'm trying to get
similarities.
out of this, but I did. I'm like, man, them Florida strain bass, they're moody. They are moody. But I was wrong. Married women are not moody. Especially mine. She never changes mood.
Yeah, good
I
luck
got
with
really
that.
quiet.
Good luck with that.
And especially when you referenced home, you said something. You said, and home. I'm like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I still think a Florida bass is moody.
Yeah.
I guess a Florida bass that lives in Florida.
And so that's perfect. So here's the only way for any state agency biologists that are out there wanting to test my theory, I have the way for you to test my theory. And this is the only way, in my opinion, to truly test my theory. You want to hear? This is how deep I've thought about this. Okay? Here's what you have to do. You have to take a pre-spawn female largemouth from Florida with her eggs in her and a male from Florida. You have to take them pregnant, take her with eggs and him with sperm to a northern Tennessee, Alabama, wherever. Let them spawn there, but then their babies don't know Florida. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's how I've thought about this saying that. So that the only thing those fry will know is the climate of whatever state they're in with a, and then those would be your true test study. That fry that's hatched wherever they're hatched.
Right.
That's your true test study to see if those are as negatively affected by.
Have y'all noticed something? I ain't had a deep thought yet about a bass. Because there ain't no way I'm thinking that hard about a bass.
I guarantee you, Andy's out there thinking, man, where's Chick-fil-A at?
Exactly.
Where am I eating lunch at today? Are they open today? Can I get my boat up there?
My deep thoughts revolve around Reese cups. Just period, the end. Reese
And
cup.
eating.
And Reese cup mainly, but yeah, and Chick-fil-A. Yeah. They ain't a Chick-fil-A close to here. That's kind of
They ain't much
impressive.
anything close to here.
No, but it's a good place.
What's going to happen
It's
this
really
week? Let's just throw this out there, Mr.
Yeah.
I'm not superstitious. Every tournament so far this year, we've had Chick-fil-A. What if we all catch them really good this time and we don't have Chick-fil-A?
Then the next tournament, if there's a Chick-fil-A close,
He's going.
I'm going to eat
He's going.
Chick-fil-A.
Even if you need.
I'm not changing nothing. I may change my approach to fishing, but when it comes to what socks I wear, whether I cut my toenails or not, what underwear I wear, whether or not I eat a banana in the boat, that ain't happening.
I was just asking.
It was just happening.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Speaking of Lake Murray,
Yep.
most time, we'll touch on Lake Murray.
Yeah.
That's where we're
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
And we both, we are filming this one day early because I am going to go home tomorrow night. So yeah, we've had one day of practice, and it's Lake Murray, man. It's got them. It's got good ones.
Yeah.
I think every one of us probably caught one over 5 today. Did you catch one over 5?
Didn't catch one.
I thought I heard him say he caught a 5.
I had like a 4.5.
You had a 5, didn't you?
Close. 4.5, maybe 5. It was.
Andy probably caught the biggest one.
The lips on mine weighed 5. But anyway, so it's got them, and they're gonna get caught scoping.
Yep.
They're really gonna get caught scoping, and they're gonna get caught fishing too.
They're healthy.
That is
Golly,
so
they're
healthy.
healthy. Just an average fish here is like 2.5, 3 pounds.
Yeah, this is one of the best lakes in the country.
Yeah.
The healthiest lake. And yes, it's full of herring, but you know you can get some places that the herring truly don't live,
Right.
and the bass are still insanely fat. Like I caught one today. I mean, I don't know if we can overlay it on. I don't know. We probably. I don't. Well, maybe we can. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. But I'm telling you, that sucker looked like he swallowed a football. And I'm talking about a football that won a national championship. Not the one they play with. The one that actually won a national championship. I mean, I'm serious. This sucker's 17 inches long and he weighs 3.5 or maybe even more. I don't carry a scale in my boat. That way my bass can weigh whatever I want to weigh.
I made the comment. I'm like, man, I wish our fish at home looked like this.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you made that comment. It's
that,
incredible. This is an incredible lake.
And it's big.
It's big.
Yeah.
This is the time of year to be here. You can catch them all year long, but pre-spawn on Lake Murray, especially, so the water's clearing up a lot. We had about 5 inches of rain 2 weeks ago. And you know, we kind of expected it to be a lot dirtier when we got here, but it's clearing up a lot. That's going to hurt the fishing bite a little bit in some areas. But we're supposed to get a lot of wind. They're going to bite. They're going to be big ones caught.
My guess.
Will it be a repeat? I guess my question. Will it be a repeat of Conroe? Of where, I mean, it's a similar situation. Of where scoping absolutely dominated. If I remember the numbers right, 80% of the bass
about 80
were caught
in a third of the day.
That's right. If you just
Really?
say,
I didn't realize
if you
that.
just say 80% of the bass, that's a lot. But then when you factor in 80% was caught in 33.3333333333333333333
That's got them. Yep.
Yeah, it's gone 35. I think personally, we could see that again.
I don't think it's quite as much because I think the fishing today was not a good test of the fishing day because we had exactly no
Zero
wind,
wind.
not a breath.
Right.
Edwin broke wind bigger than that in here. So what we had was no wind. We had the worst fishing day. It was me. We had the worst fishing day. In my opinion, I think 60% of the bass are caught in 33.3.
That's still a lot, man.
Yeah, I think 60%.
What's the average bass going to weigh here?
Oh, he's gonna weigh 3 pounds. I mean, we're fishing a 2 pound minimum here.
Have you
but it don't matter.
have we ever been to a place where the average fish, other than smallmouth fisheries, is bigger than what we're going to catch here?
On a largemouth fishery,
I
4.
mean, like a 4 or something.
But not very many places. And Forks, you know, it's like
About 8
highly
It's a slot
managed,
lake. It's
Yeah.
a slot limit.
full of grass. So that's what I'm talking about. Highly managed with a slot limit. This is not. And they have a lot of tournaments out here. And this place still survives. So it's an amazing fishery.
Yeah.
Almost as good as this place we're staying at.
how-
Gathering at Lake Murray.
How many people are going to be fighting a fish and they're going to say it's a striper, and then all of a sudden it's a bass?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
that's
like,
true.
you're going to catch a lot of stripers this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've caught enough stripers down here that I don't think I'll be one of them guys. I mean,
Yeah.
let me get my foot out of my mouth. But,
You're gonna say, please don't be a striper. Please don't be a striper. Please don't be a striper. Is that what you gonna say?
yeah. I may say it's a dang striper and then come up and it be a bad. I think Anthony actually did that when he won last time.
With
If
that
I
8
remember
pounder.
right.
It was an 8-pounder, wasn't it?
That he beat me with.
Yeah.
Yeah, he thought it was a striper.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Questions.
Yeah, you
So
got
we're
some.
gonna roll into that's the fishing report. It's gonna be a really good tournament. There's gonna be a lot of really big fish caught.
Yeah.
And a lot of solid fish.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be caught fishing, but scoping's gonna be a
It's gonna be the bulk of it, I'm
monster.
afraid.
So if you don't like scoping, sorry, they're gonna catch them.
Only 33.333% of the
That's
day.
right.
Of the day.
33.333333333% of the day.
Yeah.
All right, we got some questions. We like to do this. Answer some questions from the previous podcast. So if you got any questions from this podcast,
Put them in there.
especially about superstition,
Yeah.
like if you can prove us wrong, we're all three voted unanimously that a bass does not know what color underwear or if you're wearing underwear that's got dirt roads in them,
Or if you're wearing them at all.
or if you're wearing them all, ain't bass don't know. So if you can prove us wrong, please prove us wrong. If you can't prove us wrong with that, ask any type of question you want, and we always pick out. We don't.
Actually, Taylor does.
Yeah, we don't. Taylor picks them out.
We'll get
Yep.
to them in the next video.
And then he fires them to us, and we'll answer them in the next video. Go on, Taylor.
What was each one of your first boats you fished out of as a kid or owned yourself? And then what is your best story from that boat?
That's a good
cool.
question.
Yeah, so the first one that
Let's
we
repeat the question. Can I hear
Okay.
you from back there? The
Yeah.
Kevin?
Okay. Yeah.
You talk kind of soft.
I'll
Nah, we good.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. First boat we ever fished out of.
Yeah, first one we fished out of and fished a tournament out of. I mean, going all the way back, it was an ebb tide.
I've
Wow.
never even heard of that.
So it was a TWRA, one of their boats. Walk through windshield, air ride seats.
Air ride back in
Yeah.
them days?
Like the pedestal. It was the pedestal.
Yeah. What you talking about?
Air ride
Wow.
seats. It did not have a front deck. But we put a trolling motor up there where you could
Were those built in Tennessee? Where were those built at?
I'm not sure if they
Where were ebb tides built? I would
ebb
like to
tide.
know.
And it had a
Chris
newly
Brothers is
rebuilt
right now, but go ahead.
Mariner 150 on it. But I mean, it was not a bass boat. Shortly after that, we bought a bass boat, which was a Norse Craft. But truly, the first one that we tournament fished out of was an ebb tide. So there you go.
Mine was a 79 Skeeter that my grandpa owned, 16 foot long, had a 150 on it.
Shoo!
Yeah, but
Get
it
it.
still wouldn't run about 50 miles an hour.
Really?
Oh yeah, it was bad. We had one of them. Y'all remember them fins you put on the back?
Yeah,
of them?
yeah.
Get them on plane
Yeah.
quicker. Because if you didn't, it was here to New England before you got on plane. But yeah, it was a 79 Skeeter, 12 volt trolling motor, 16 foot long. Yeah, that was
That was your real.
single axle trailer.
Wow.
It was nice.
Yeah.
It was nice. 12 volt trolling motor, just cruised around. Fished my first bass tournament. I actually won my first tournament out of that boat.
Yeah.
So
So it went down
it was
out of
fun.
that tide.
My grandpa, unfortunately, he never got to fish a tournament because he passed away when I was 13. But I can remember being little, and he was. Some people say I'm pretty good at casting, whether I am or I'm not. But that man was deadly with a push button, Zepco 33, like deadly. He would put that lizard beside every pole on Lake Wiley and land it right beside with a push button.
With a
That's all
push
he
button.
ever did.
Wow.
With a push button. So I guess that's who taught me how to cast.
Yeah.
I still got his rods. It's pretty cool.
That is
Pistol grip. Oh, Hank Parker pistol grip.
But it put a push button on it.
Yeah, push button. He could throw a bait cast.
My first boat, the first tournament I ever won was out of a one-man. It was called a fishing pal. My dad made styrofoam packaging for all the product, the stuff. And the guy came to him and he made this styrofoam boat. It weighed like 20 pounds, and I had a 2-horse Johnson on the back.
Dude,
And had these
kayak fishing before
had-
kayak fishing was cool.
had these things in the side you could store, and you propelled it with your swim fins, And when you got really good, you could go like this and go forward. But then after that, I'll never forget it. To this day, it gives me goosebumps. Dad bought a V17 tractor with a 40-horse Johnson on it. I slept in it for the first week. I mean, I slept in it. I had that boat all the way through college. I upgraded it to a 75 Mercury and put a 24-volt trolling motor on it, put a bigger gas tank in it. That thing, I don't know how the rivets all stay together, and that thing's, I beat it to pieces, but I'll
cool.
never forget that boat.
I think one podcast we could walk through, because you kind of progressed, we could walk through our progressions of boats.
That would be
That'd
pretty
be
cool.
good.
Yeah.
Tune in next time
For that.
for our progressions of boats, because I think we all
Yeah. Oh yeah.
had
Got
a
a
little
cool
stepping
story. Yeah.
stone to where we are now. So
What's the
bring
next
us
question?
another one.
What is each one of your favorite boat snacks?
Favorite boats.
Reese cup. I mean, I done answered that.
Didn't take long, did
No,
it?
heck
Mine
no.
kind of changes. I like an apple. I've been making a nut mixture. I put cashews, pecans,
Cashews, I'm
pistachios,
allergic to cashews. Can't eat 'em.
put some other good stuff in there that I can just eat it and
Yeah.
roll down the lake.
A trail mix is mine, but it's a dark chocolate with cranberries, some malted chocolate. I mean, mine probably. I mean, it's a trail mix, but it's got a lot of chocolate in it.
You know,
But it's got cranberries and raisins and stuff too. But
I
yeah.
just thought about something. You need to be a little more superstitious.
Okay.
How many times you finished second in AOY?
Only like 4.
Alright. So what did you eat every single morning when you finished second 4 times in AOY?
Bananas.
No! A Pop-Tart!
A Pop-Tart. Yeah.
That's what you would eat every single morning.
It wasn't Bass. With most of them in MLF though,
Yeah.
it was usually
Hey,
banana.
And
actually.
last year was probably the first year you didn't finish second in AOY in your
Yeah.
career, and you quit eating Pop-Tarts last year.
I
Yeah.
can tell you a story about eating
You need to
before a
think about
tournament. So I've told this story on my YouTube channel a long time ago, but I used to team fish with Jeff Reynolds, and Jeff made the 5 or 6 Bassmaster Classics.
Yeah, good
and
fisherman.
heck of a fisherman. We had a phenomenal practice one time, and we're staying in my camper, and we're eating breakfast right there in the boat ramp in the front seats. And we bought Lucky Charms that night to eat the next day. And we're like,
Why did you buy Lucky Charms?
because we thought we were going to get really lucky.
So you're superstitious.
Oh yeah, everybody's superstitious when you start fishing. I was 20 years old.
Alton said, Junior, I'll just jump in for just a second. This was a really fun one. He said, I'm not superstitious, I'm only a little stitious.
Don't ever eat Lucky Charms. We did not catch them at all that day, like 0, and we thought we were.
Yeah.
Just bad from New Year's.
They smell all that sugar on you.
Yeah.
So what we've learned through this podcast is y'all need to be a little more, well, you especially. I try to
Go
eat
back in my old
Pop-Tarts.
ways.
You need to eat some Pop-Tarts.
Yeah. There's something to it, maybe.
He's grown up.
Yeah.
Oh, he's grown. That's probably the reason he quit eating Pop-Tarts.
That's right. That's right.
Next question.
Yeah.
Might be a slightly long one, but it's a pretty good question.
Okay.
Who sent it to us?
Marshall Johnson
Okay.
Marshall Johnson.
wants your opinion on raising kids to love the outdoors, and he's looking for a little advice because
Good question.
he's got a daughter on the way and he has a son.
All right.
Good question, Marshall.
That's very good.
I'll start it. I think the biggest thing with that, like, you can't burn them out. Like for me, I kind of, the first time I took my daughter hunting, it was like 22 degrees. I waited a while. I go to take her again. The next time it was 96 degrees. And I'd taken a porta potty and I built a deer blind out of it. One of the handicap ones, I bought it really cheap. I cut windows out of it. And that porta potty at 96 degrees, it was like melting hot. She never went again. So with my son, I tried to do it a little more slow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is just read the kids. It's not about catching fish. You got to throw a lot of rocks. A
Yeah.
lot of rocks.
Dang, Ed, that's like Clemson type stuff there. That's elite information. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
To not burn them out.
Yeah.
And I kind of did the same thing and kind of let them ask me when to go.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I probably don't get to take them as much as I want to because we're on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I worry about them burning themselves out because they hunt and fish so much. But you can't force it on your kid. I don't think you can force it on your kids. I basically got 3 kids, one's mine, and I got 2 that stay with me all the time, a niece and a nephew. My daughter and my nephew are obsessed with hunting and fishing. They're obsessed with it. My niece, she's obsessed with softball, but she likes hunting and fishing. And sometimes she don't want to go. So just like you said, don't say, "Oh, come on, go with us. You'll have fun." Just let them go and let them kind of ease into it themselves.
Yeah.
That's a little bit of a worry. Somebody was talking about that in the high school fishing game. Is how many kids get burnt out before they get to the 25 and 30-year-old age in bass fishing. I never thought about that.
A lot of dads living through those kids.
And they push them
Yeah.
kids really hard, and it's not the best thing.
Yeah.
So, just kind of let you said it best, and then we'll turn it over to Ott. Read your kid. Don't read yourself.
They may,
Don't read yourself.
Oh yeah.
On your interest, read your kid.
Yeah,
not
and
about
that's I know for me that's what I've been guilty of. I mean, because we'd be out there and be catching one. Sometimes catching one every throw, and he's like, "I want to go swim. I want to do this." I'm like, "No, let's reel another fish in," So, because that's hard for me to not
Turn it on.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, so
I'm
you know,
guilty.
no, I know I am too. So, and I think the other part of it is,
But you learn from being guilty, and
Yeah.
that's what he asked for advice
That's
on
right.
unborn.
yeah,
And you actually learn the most in life through mistakes most of the time. So
yeah. And
reading your kid is
Yeah.
that's like essential.
And their passion in the outdoors. There's a lot of great things you can do in the outdoors. I mean, obviously fishing is what I love from a very young age. I've grown into, loving to hunt different stuff, especially turkeys and ducks and stuff, and deers, kind of whatever. But Abby is probably the one who would like deer hunting the most still. But I rarely, honestly, make enough time. We only have a few small opportunities here and there to get to go do that. But like Parker's the one who, he likes to fish pretty good, but he really likes to turkey hunt. And he likes to duck hunt pretty good as well. But the thing he likes more than any of it's dove hunting. And I mean, we're not going to miss dove opener.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So finding whichever one it is that your kid really likes.
And outdoors
And
is not
making sure
just
you do
hunting
it.
and fishing. You mentioned Abby, and she's really into horses.
Mm-hmm.
That is the
That's what I
outdoors.
want to touch on. That's the biggest thing. Like, I'm so thankful my dad, he didn't fish any. Like I said, he bought that boat. He would take me to the lake. He'd get back there and read a newspaper all day long, never make a cast, but he saw the passion I had in it. And he nourished that. My son, he likes fishing. He ain't ate up with it.
Right.
So I mean, it's just finding what
But
your
he's learning to fly a plane.
Yeah, like he's found a passion. I think that's the biggest
That's an
thing.
outdoor activity. We can't limit outdoor activities to just hunting and fishing.
Right.
It can be camping. It can be horses.
Hiking.
It can be hiking. It can be cattle. It can be
Frisbee.
It could be riding four-wheelers,
Yeah.
frisbee. I mean, the stuff that you could put into the outdoor category is endless, and it just goes back to what Evan said first: is reading your kid.
Find their passion.
Find their passion. He's read his kid. His kid's passion is flying.
Yeah.
Abby's passion's horses.
Yeah.
And they just happen to be both expensive passions. You're saying,
I got
hey, you
cats.
got one coming up, buddy.
But look here, I do not want a horse.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to
I didn't either.
Hey, it's her passion.
My little girl's kind of grew away from that. She'd rather shoot a squirrel out of the top of a tree.
Ain't nothing wrong with that with a pellet rifle.
It don't
So.
make her nana proud. But anyway,
Good question.
Good question. And I actually learned something. Read your kid. That's
That's a good way to put
that's
it.
a very good way to put it. So
So we're gonna wrap this one up. I
Wrap
think
it
like
up.
we did the same one, or like we did the podcast last week with the word of the week, and I think Drew's got it prepared for us this week. It looks like
we
So,
actually thought about it halfway through. That's the reason I was fumbling on my phone. I'm like, dang. So the word of the week. This is a verse I first learned out of Bassmaster Elite Series. What do we call them?
focus meeting.
Focus meeting.
Yeah.
And I heard Chris Wells deliver it.
And he can deliver a message.
He can Google search. Act like he's got a historian.
Check out Chris Wells.
Chris
Yeah.
Wells.
He's
Well-spoken
he
ministries.
just-
Well-spoken ministry.
Cool dude.
He's actually doing a boat giveaway right now to support his ministry.
Yeah.
So
Good chance to
It
win the
should be
boat.
up before.
yeah, you can go. No, it's on now.
Okay.
The boat's being given away in March. It's a really good chance to win a
Yeah.
boat.
Yeah.
He does it every year, and we all support him, help him with that.
Yeah.
I think you can go to www.chriswells.org to buy a ticket. And somebody's gonna win it, man. And it's pretty cool. I've actually been there. I don't know if I'll make this one, but I've been to every single one of them. And you make that phone call. Hey, we draw live.
It was a fan of yours that won one
One
of them.
time, yeah. Some dude from
Yeah,
Oklahoma.
and then a
won.
fan
It's
of mine.
Tim White,
Yeah.
I mean, who come and cook for
That's
us
right,
in Oklahoma. Last
Yeah.
year.
But when you make that phone call, hey man, you just want a boat. Man, quit playing with me. You just want a boat. So it's pretty good. ChrisWells.org, chance to win a boat. Go check that out. But he was the bass chaplain. He's still over there. He's still one of our best friends. But he taught me this verse. And it comes from Matthew 7. He taught me this verse. He delivered this verse. And everything in life basically comes down to what our foundation is. Al Odom actually gave our fishing church the other night, and it kind of went along with this, how Al's version was, God's the trunk and we're the branches, and the trunk's rooted into the ground. But on Matthew 7, verse 24. Well, actually, I'm going to skip down to verse 25. And this is the Sermon on the Mount, and it says, the rains came, the streams rose, the winds blew, and beat against the house, yet it did not fall because it had its foundation on a rock. And what that's telling us is if we put our foundation in Jesus, then we can basically handle any troubles in life. So,
Puts a lot of things in perspective.
yeah, have your foundation on a rock.
Yep.
And what is the rock?
Jesus.
That's it.
Yep.
So that's a really good verse.
Good
It's
verse.
one I share.
Yeah.
I spoke at a bunch of funerals. I spoke at 4 or 5 funerals. Every time I speak, I'll always say this one verse. That's because that's how important it is to me. So
Yeah.
Good verse.
That is
Good
a
job.
good one.
that's it. We appreciate y'all tuning in to After.
The pod.
What is this?
That's the parentheses.
Oh,
No. Parentheses.
After the podcast coming to you one day early. You probably won't see it a day early, but we filmed it a day early because I'm going home
Yeah.
for one night. One
Yeah.
night at home. I
Is you
can't
gonna-
wait.
But we're filming here at the gathering, Lake
The
Murray.
gathering at Lake
Scott
Murray.
Campbell's
Yeah, if you
place.
need a place when you come to Murray, this is
Yeah.
the place to get.
Yeah.
You can park
Oh.
4 boats here,
Yep.
electric,
No trouble.
boat dock. It's got it
Ramp.
all.
I'm pretty sure it's VRBO, but
Okay.
you can just Google search the gathering at Lake Murray,
Yeah.
and it will pop up.
Yeah.
Be a link down
Yeah.
below.
There'll be a link down below, but it is a phenomenal
Cool place.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Thank
need, I
y'all.
need to check my schedule, make sure I ain't coming back to Lake Murray before we put
Right
that
here
link up.
behind us, you see one of the best things, this ping pong table. These two won't play me. I've been challenging them, but they won't play me.
Yeah. We might play each other because we're equally bad.
Wait a minute. I got to think. I might have one pair of red underwear that I think will be lucky. I'm gonna go put that pair of red underwear on, and I'm gonna whoop Edwin because superstition does work. In
You
ping
probably
pong.
will win because I'll be laughing thinking you actually have red underwear on.
We gotta end this. That's it. Do bass know what color or if you have underwear on or how long you wore them underwear? Let us know. But we're out. We're going to bed. Thank y'all for joining.